Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, as we get started, we begin in our usual way by invoking the presence of the Almighty. And to lead us in prayers this afternoon, I will call on Mrs. Mary Vonley, who will lead us in a word of prayer.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Bow your heads, please. Almighty Father, we come to you this afternoon in prayers. We come to you, Lord, and ask you to shower us with your blessings. Bless us as we go through our proceedings, Lord Jesus. Bless us today, tomorrow, tonight, day after, and every day. Guide and protect us all. We, the United Workers' Party, we are one family, and we would like to remain as one family in peace, unity, justice for all. Lord, I ask that you shower your people with all your grace and mercies. As I am standing here this afternoon, Jesus, I ask that you take possession of us all. In Jesus' name I pray.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Vonley. And ladies and gentlemen, since we are here in the constituency of Babonneau, we are going to kick off things this afternoon by calling on not the chairman, a member of the Babonneau constituency branch, Mrs. Yulin Corneau, I hope I got the name right, who will lead us in a word of prayer. Sorry, you will deliver the welcome remark.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Chairman, Mr. Thurl Prudent. Chairman, Mr. Thurl Prudent. Deputy Political Leader, Mr. Guy Joseph. General Secretary, Mrs. Janine Jerudi McIntyre. Public Relations Officer, Mr. Leonard Spider Montoot. Elections Officer, Mrs. Beryl George. Treasurer, Mrs. Marcella Johnson. Mobilizations Officer, Mrs. Nancy Charles. Chairmen of the different constituencies. Other invited guests. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to our party's first town hall meeting in Babonneau. We are very happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much. Okay, now that we have our warm Babonneau welcome, we are about to kick off things this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 2 years since that disaster. And today, the government of St. Lucia, the Saint Lucia Labour Party, has gathered in Miku, and they are calling on St. Lucian to come and celebrate the victory. But we are in no mood to celebrate any victory, because what we see is misery, and we are not going to celebrate the misery. But this afternoon, we here in Babonneau have hope. We have the same hope that we had in 2011, when the miscalculation, the mistake was made. We corrected it in 2016. Another mistake was made in 2021. We are doing everything in our power to ensure that this is corrected come the next election. Notice I didn't say 2026, I said come the next election. It may very well be before that. Ladies and gentlemen, in all that we do, as a party, the United Workers' Party is all-embracing. Hence the reason we have our different arms. We have our arms in the diaspora. We have, of course, the inevitable women's arm, and the energy, the vibe of the party, the youth arm. So I will now call on a member of the Babonneau youth arm to deliver some brief remarks to you. I will call to the podium Mr. Clinton Leon to address you. A warm welcome. Clinton Leon. Philippe JP.
Hi, good morning all. Good afternoon, sorry. Welcome to Babonneau. Welcome to Babonneau. So my name is Clinton Leo. I am the youth president of the Babonneau youth arm. And I'd like to just say a few words. We had our youth and women's conference yesterday, which was very successful. Thank you for the head table who were present. So I know, speaking specifically to the youth, those virtually and those here, I know you guys are tired of this government. This government are not doing anything for us. The same roads they say we were not eating, our young people were working on the same roads, earning a salary, and right now nothing is going on, especially in this constituency. Right in Virginia's household, there are so many roads in our constituency, which is very bad, and she does nothing about it. So I encourage you young people here to come out and vote and support the United Workers' Party, because the youth are the hope of today, and they are also the joy of tomorrow. So I encourage you all, support us, and I hope to see you at the next election. Also, as plans, as youth president, my first plan, obviously, is to mobilize the youth we have here, because we need to get them together. So I plan on hosting our first activity, which will be a games night. So we already spoke to as an executive last night after our conference. So that's one of the plans we have, and also host a youth forum, because I feel like we need to educate our youth about politics. It's not about just coming in. They need to understand the policies and why they should support the United Workers' Party. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I started off with a little faux pas. Cletus started off with a little faux pas, but we're going to stop following the bad example of our leader. I'm very pleased to hear our young people come to the fore, like Cletus did a while ago. And, it is very heartening to know that all gears are ready. We are putting things in progress. And when I look around, this is supposed to be a Babonneau TownHall meeting. All our chairs are occupied. I'm pleased to see that. I have been around the politics for some time now, and I can tell you, 2 years after a general election, I don't remember seeing so many UWPs as mobilized as you are. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for that, because your country needs you now more than ever. We are facing a disaster, and we all have to take a stand to save our country. Now, it would be remiss of me if I do not acknowledge the head table. I want to acknowledge our head table, Mrs. Beryl George, our elections officer, Mrs. Marcella Johnson, our treasurer, our deputy political leader, the man himself, Guy Joseph, our dynamic chairman, Therol Prudent, the firebrand lady, Nancy Charles, Mrs. Nancy Charles, our general secretary, hard-working general secretary, Mrs. Janine Girodi McIntyre. I want to acknowledge the chairman of the Babonneau constituency branch. I know he's somewhere around. The executive members of the Babonneau branch, and every single one of you who are present here. I want to say a special good afternoon to you, and a special good afternoon to those who are listening to us. Oh my God. I skipped Senator Farah Polius. That is our deputy chairperson who is here with us this afternoon. All dynamic people of the United Workers' Party. Now, people have hope and I'm heartened. Not because things are good, but because I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, I was on Newsmaker Live earlier this week, and I ended by saying that Labour has put out the light. In our motto, we have the land, the people, and the light. They have put out the light. But we have hope, because the flambeau is back. And the flambeau will provide the light once again. Let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, with our political leader, the Honorable Alan Michael Shasney, and the powerful team that he has around him, working with him, I know that St. Lucia can be salvaged and we can get back on the course of progress and development again. Unfortunately, our political leader is not here with us today because he's out of the island, but he will be back soon to carry the torch and keep the fight and to keep the flame burning. I mean, not only will we be defeating them in the courts, but when the time comes, we'll defeat them in the ballot box as well. And I will tell you, when that time comes and the results are announced, once again, you will hear the current Prime Minister asking the question, when that happened? Ladies and gentlemen, we will move on with our program. And of course, I spoke of the various arms of our parties and our constituency branches. And all arms must come to bear. And all hands must be put to work to ensure that the job is done to rescue our country. And so now, to deliver some brief remarks, I will call on a member of the women's arm of Babonneau, Miss Lynn Corno.
Thank you, Mr. Montut. My name is Yulene Corno. I am from Balata, Babonneau. I am the Vice President of the Babonneau Women's Arm. Last evening, we had a dynamic, very, very dynamic conference, Youth and Women's Conference, under the theme, Igniting the Torch Today for a Brighter Future. And it augurs well with what we're trying to do here today. Since this is our first town hall meeting, I want to say again, welcome everyone for supporting us. And we're starting to light the torch in Babonneau today. I want to thank our team, all the people. You guys know yourselves. I just want to say thank you so much for all your hard work to make last night possible. All our speakers and all the staff at the branch of the Women's Arm for their dedication and their support, all the hard work that you did. I just want to say thank you very much. Last night was a great success and it wouldn't have been possible without you. Ladies and gentlemen, when I think of the role of women in this party, we are the ones setting the stone for the victory to come. They say behind every strong man, there is a woman, and this is so true. Because we have proven to be the backbone of this party, and we will continue to be. Thank you, Miss. We are continuing to support our men in this party because that's why we are here, for support in every way. I just want to say thank you once again for being here, and back on to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kono. And we will be going throughout the length and breadth of this country with those town hall meetings, and to ensure that all our constituency branches are ready and in full throttle. So as we get ready now to present to you a video by the General Secretary, Ms. Janine Girodi McIntyre, this video is on protecting our women, something that our government is not doing. And I am very proud of the women of the United Workers' Party for their stance on issues affecting women in this country. The current women in Parliament, your representative in Babonneau, Virginia Poyot, and Emma Hippolyte will do well to take a page from the women of the United Workers' Party. Thank you very much. All right, so we're back. So I was saying that not too long ago, I was very proud to see some of our ladies, former Minister Sarah Flood, Senator Polius, Mrs. Nancy Charles, how they represented our party and the women of St. Lucia in discussing and dissecting issues affecting the women. Issues that some women remain mute on. And I want to remind you that Virginia Poyot is not only a woman who sits in Parliament, she is responsible for home affairs, which means that she has direct jurisdiction of what's happening in the police force. She is responsible for gender affairs, which has to do with matters affecting women. And of course, she is supposed to be a woman herself. And so, we are still calling on her. We are still calling on her to show her mettle. Demonstrate that she is worthy of the confidence that the people placed in her. Stand up now that she has to be counted, and let us know where she stands on the issues affecting our women in this country. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I will hand over. Are you ready? Okay, well, they're not quite ready yet. So, I was just saying, you know, when you look for quality, you look to the United Workers' Party. Because honestly, if you start from the top and you see the example that is set, I have said it before and I'm saying it again. We need to carry out a mental status test on our Prime Minister.
At Chesterfield,
and
sits an
they have to give the results to St. Lucia.
Of sexual
Let us know.
Against
Let us know if our Prime Minister is mentally fit to remain in the position that he's in. I mean, one man can make so many faux pas in 2 years. I mean, you are the Minister of National Security. You are the Prime Minister of this country. A major development such as an advisory from the French government, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs, advising the citizens about traveling to St. Lucia not being safe, tourism being our main industry, That is a matter that happened early July. This week, when they're asking you what is your reaction to that, clue that happened. I mean, I don't think he's lying, you know. He doesn't have a clue what's going on around him. He just does not have a clue. Okay? So the lie might be he does not know, and that is because he does not. And so when you look at the faux pas, the errors, the blunders, the kind of foolish statements that we hear, the embarrassment that we experience regularly from our Prime Minister, people, we have to do better than that. Because soon from now, people are going to judge all of us by his standard, and we can afford that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I will hand you over. Please take in this video by Janine Girodi McIntyre, our General Secretary, on the issue of protecting our women.
Today, at police headquarters at Chesterfield, sits an acting chief of police accused of sexual misconduct against certain female officers of the Royal Police Force. In 2023, we find ourselves confronting a disturbing reality that our acting Commissioner of Police, entrusted with the safety of our communities, stands accused of sexual misconduct. The Prime Minister put him there. You see, without Philip J. Pierre's agreement, he cannot hold that office because our Constitution is clear that the Prime Minister must give his approval for the appointment of the Commissioner of Police. These allegations by female officers are damning and egregious. The letters from the alleged victims are all there in the police records. The Police Welfare Association sent copies of those letters to the Prime Minister before he appointed the acting commissioner to that trustworthy position. And to date, there is little to no action taken. Philip J. Pierre flings his hands in the air and says in a pitiful and helpless voice, "What can I do about it?" Well, this is what you can do about it, Mr. Pierre. Require that the acting commissioner be placed on administrative leave until an independent investigation has been conducted and he is cleared of these allegations. And what are we going to do about it? Not sit by and watch this travesty against women. Let me be clear. We refuse to accept this in 2023. We women refuse to allow the progress that we have made over all these years to be undermined by recklessness, cowardice, and inaction. Prime Minister Pierre, do you really believe that we would allow you to appoint a commissioner of police shrouded in allegations of sexual misconduct without objection? Do you understand the power of women? We refuse to let our voices be silenced and our dignity shattered. We will rise up from every walk of life and make our voices heard. We will stand united on an issue that affects every woman in our society. Mothers, grandmothers, sisters, and daughters. We stand with those brave female officers, our sisters, who are immensely fearful for the repercussions of speaking out. We stand with the St. Lucia Police Welfare Association in its quest for justice. We stand with the Regional Police Welfare Association that is appalled that the acting commissioner has not been placed on leave to facilitate an investigation. We stand with the many police officers, both male and female, that have expressed their outrage to us. We stand with the civil society organizations that have raised their voices.
Not let it drop until and unless we get results. So if they think they can buy time, that will not happen. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the matter that was just discussed begs for an investigation to be carried out. And we are calling for this. In fact, to tell you more about this, let me call on a dynamic lady, Mrs. Nancy Charles, to talk about the subject.
Good afternoon, Babonneau. Good afternoon, United Workers' Party. Okay, let me say good afternoon to our viewers on the live. I do know that we may be experiencing some technical difficulties on the live, but we're getting it sorted out. But we had over 400 persons in our diaspora and online watching, so let's give them a clap this afternoon and welcome them and thank them for their participation. I want to say to you that this is a series of town hall meetings that we will be having. So Babonneau, you have started the ball rolling, and we will be going all around St. Lucia. We'll be going down the coast, we'll be going to Soufrière, Micoud, Dennery, and Slare, Nukale, Tupa to Saint Lucia. We have to bring the message to the people. First and foremost, to let the Labour Party know that the United Workers' Party is alive and well. You're queer because you're 10 years 15, you're 10 years because you're panis encore. You're paying 15 moun a parlement, but you're paying 15 moun a pays. The people of St. Lucia have turned their backs on the Labour Party, so we are bringing the message that the United Workers' Party is alive and well. Like the Buju Banton song says, we were buried alive, but we are still breathing. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but we know United Workers' Party will win the next general election. So we will not roll over and die. Labour kwa tout sa yo pedo. Oh, we have 15 to 2, 15 to 2. Ako di Saint Lucia se sa yo. Saint Lucia se pa sa yo. Saint Lucia sa nou tout. It belongs to all of us. It belongs to every single one of us. Men, women, child, every single one of us. And that is why, right now, as women of the United Workers' Party, we are coming to you. Not only to the women you know, because c'est nom là les on toi cassement nous ka dou bout ebzo jodi a femme Saint Lucia ni toi cassement nous voulons tout nom dou bout nous. We need our men to stand up with us, the women, in our quest to ensure that justice is done in this country. We cannot sit by and allow for what is happening in this country to continue. And so, I want to let you know that they're down in Monrepo. Exuwe ko yo ali. Yo devle vin miku. Jean miku di yo vini. Miku sav di yo vini. Si kwezon nom exofam vin miku sav. Le yo jouen komisyon. Yo reverse. Yo turn around. Ek yo vie mute Monrepo. Le yo ay Monrepo yo alon anti court. Anti multipurpose court ki la. You are not PDT multipurpose court. So you can play like 4 moun ki vini because depuis 4 moun vile la play. Et you can do had a lot of people. You can mucho portwe akodi la te di tibwe moun. But we are not fooled by that because they recognize that on the ground the people are no longer supporting them. So what are they celebrating? What are they celebrating? Aye. There is nothing to celebrate by the St. Lucia Labour Party. They are trying to hide behind the fact that, Labour Party is a clan, right? Yo ka vini, lawa yon moun fan bagay. Yo la kon adan fami. Lawa yon moun fan bagay. Pito yon dubu tek di, sa pa bon, sa pa right, pa fe sa. Yo tout ka vini ek yo ka defend yon a lot. They come like, they huddle together. And whether it's right or wrong, they come and they defend each other, especially in the things that are not right. But the United Workers' Party is saying, enough. As our General Secretary said in that video, we will not stand by and allow this to happen. So we have a commission by acting commissioner. Pour mettre la yo fe ba ou ma have ki sa ite. Whatever it is you do because of ki sa ou pete fe, bepe pate fe. Masav, mais naïdou aujourd'hui, United Workers Party is standing with these women who have made those allegations, and we will continue to cry out and call for an independent investigation to find out what happened. Masav si vwe, masav si pa vwe. Matela. But loi kado, le an moun vini, e ki fe an allegation, e ki do tel by fet. You have a responsibility to find out if it is true or not. Pou ki sa yo pe fe investigation. Amun kamati. Ma have ki resiye. Me moi siye se pa se fam la. Me amun kamati. And we need to find out who is telling the truth and who is not telling the truth. Why do I say that they are lying? Because this government continue to lie about everything in this country. They have continued to lie about everything in this country. Every single thing a member of the St. Lucia Labour Party tells you, you have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to go back and investigate. You have to go back and double check. Because you pas jamais fini a whole sentence. You can do sentence halfway to say what they want it to mean, but they never give you the entire thing. That is the government that is ruling this country today. Now, why do I say that? Because is it tomorrow or Tuesday? Tuesday is the 1st of August. Come the 1st of August, what is going to happen? Me askiwe, me mati yoko. Because Alan Chasne tiye 2.5 an le vat la. Tout sa Chasne fe, yo viet. So Alan tiye 2.5 an le vat. Le ba antwe, yo mette vat la vie. Yo pa même realize, si an ba yin yo wan yo ka fe la. Yo pa même check ko yo. Parce Alan ki fe, so nou kay tiye. So yo ka vie me, ek pa realize, yo twape ko yo an twaka. So when they realized that they were going to put back the VAT and people were going to say, but Alan, move it and you put it back, that's not a good thing. They call it a health and security levy. Marty, they lie. They lie. Because that levy is never for the health and security of this country. Why do I tell you that? Because loga de budget la, yo pa mette an ye pour health and security an di dan budget la. It is not there. So it is a lie. And what is going to happen come the 1st of August? The price of grocery items is going to go up. So you do manger pa mute because it's not on food. And it's not on the Prime Minister. Prime Minister pa même connaître. Prime Minister is not going to be on period products. Ki sa ki period products la? J'aime ki femme ka di sa. We don't say that anymore. Oh, it's not going to be on period products. That was so déclassé. In Parliament, ou ka du buta Parliament ou ka di sa as a Prime Minister? Oh Lord. But it's not going to go on food. But I'll tell you one thing. Mardi, so holiday. Mercredi, lo I get socks by issue for l'école, I ka ni 2.5 levy en lay. Lo I get bag pour mettre livre là by maman la pour l'école, I ka ni 2.5 levy en lay. Lo I get uniform, ek man ya uniform meten yo di uniform ka che. L'école encore so ma have. Mais meten moun ka di uniform che. I kay ni 2.5 levy en lay. Bon, là nous te kay SNS ay ganti laundry basket et ganti basin. De l'on te kay ni $5, $6. Actuellement 2.5 levy en lay. The disinfectant you use, the bleach and the things you use to clean your house, to wash your clothes, 2.5 levy en lay. So c'est manger yon qui est important à payer. Everything else will have a 2.5 on it. Et puis Labour Party, mon repos, can celebrate ça. That shows you the wicked government that we have. What have they done? What have they done for you? Mais you have fait d'autres travail. Naïdou qui ça you fait? Ek bon ba you ça? Naïdou qui ça? Premier ba you fait? Prime Minister vient au Parlement. Il dit comme ça. I don't know what they're talking about. A little job I give my daughter. Only $6,000 they pay in her. I don't know what they're talking about. You fait ça. Pourquoi il pas bail job là pour l'autre jeune monde qui puisse travailler là? Ou quoi each prime minister a puisse ça? That's the first person you employ in CIP who can pay $6,000 a month. Labour Party did that for you. You know what else they did? You remember there were certain persons in the media. Tous les jours, you ont les do Alan Chasney, you ont les do UWP. Chaque story, on les HTS, on les MBC, on les Choice. Toute story, c'est about UWP. Guy, juste mené yon lo, just guy gain. Il a payé au guy. Eh, nous kay ni pour faire match à là. Yes, you all didn't know that guy won Riani Isidore in a court matter. But here's the thing. Toutes les robades savent c'est ça yon de fait. They have employed Riani Isidore, Miguel Février, Jed Brown, Crystal Rivière. All these people were in the media. Yo denye ka travail gouvernement. That is what the Labour Party has done for you. Employ and repay the people who did their dirty works for them. They have now put them in government. That's what they have done for you. Do you know who's going to be the next PS of economic development? Okay. Baba have. Oh, ebe fwe honest healer. Say Liki Kai next. Now let me tell you who's that brother. You all remember in the matter of the vroom vroom. He said that he had purchased the first car. And it wasn't his car. It was the car for his brother. That's the one he lied about and said it was his. But when he brought it down, it was for his brother. He brought it down. He says his brother that give him the money. That same one, yes, he is going to be the next PS of economic development. Jobs for the friends, the family, the comrades. It's for all of them, not for you. And those who are listening online, I want you to take note. Says Okitela, Labour, Flabo must go, Chasne must go. Look it, Kodiomem, in your tutu. Look it. Their friends, their families, and their comrades. That's what they have done for you. Next thing, they tell you they want to collect $33 million. Right? Why you think they want to collect the $33 million? There's a lady that they have appointed the ambassador in D.C. Ika West Northern Kai. So you're the Kai Lab with the renovations. You know how much money they've allocated for it? $1 million. Take that. That's what Labour Party has done for you. Consultancy. You're capable tous les jours. Miss Labo have consultants. $122 million. That is what the Labour Party is celebrating today. Travel. You're tout partout. C'est pour ça Philippe JP have sakale. Alva have sakale. Nobody knows what's going on because they're traveling all over the place. That is what the Labour Party has done for you. But do you think they care about what is happening with crime in this country? Now let me tell you something. Crime is serious, you know. It's very serious. But if we do not address the issue of crime in the government, you cannot address the issue of crime outside of the government. It has to start from the top. So maybe that's why the commissioner is not doing the honorable thing and recusing himself. Because maybe somebody knows something that I know, that you know, that I know, that I don't know. I don't know. But somebody will have to tell me what is going on and what is happening. So the police welfare came out. And let me tell you something, people. That thing has been going around for a little while, apparently. Because if you listen to the statement by Mr. Cameron from the Police Welfare Association, what he said is that you all remember he was not the president, right? There was a gentleman called Mr. Shiko who was the president. So Cameron just came in. And he said when he came in, he received outstanding matters, things that needed to be dealt with that were not dealt with. But so vle mwen do an kwe yon nay di ba ou. Le Cameron atwe, yo bali yon liste ti papier kon han. Yo di la ni do 3 bagay ki pou fin fet, yo te komanse me yo pou fini. And amongst one of these things were the issue of the allegations of sexual misconduct against a particular person. Nom la porte acting commissioner. No, he wasn't. He pokote mem acting commissioner. And Cameron said he wrote the letters. He sent a letter to the commissioner, Pelius, who was there at the time. He sent a letter to the Public Service Commission. He sent letter to Attorney General. He sent letter to the Prime Minister. He sent letter to Virginia. Nobody is taking the man on. Do you know why they're refusing to do anything? Because you connaît Saint Lucia. You know why? Because nous n'y ont l'habitude. Nous ka commencer ka go wash. Nous la même ko paikan. Nous ka brûler go ki kanik fini. Whoop. So what they think is that there's going to be a little noise, they're going to say something, and they're going to forget about it, and then they will bring the man in. But Paisia, listen, United Workers' Party, we must send a clear message to say, sa pa di fe paikan. Sa se di fe boachebo. Ek boachebo ka brile kome si men. I ka tout fe like, I ka brile pa adubut. We will not stop. So what did Virginia say? When they asked her the question in front of Parliament, Virginia said, well, do you know what it means to be CC'd on a letter? Tansai, Madam Lakadi. You, the Minister for the Public Service, you can act. You, the Minister for Gender Affairs, say femme kidi, you can act. You, the Minister for Home Affairs, you can act. Only 2 ministry. Udi, she was only copied on the letter. So it's not her to take action, it's the person that the letter was addressed to take action. Shame on you, Virginia! Shame on you! As a woman, as a Minister for Gender Affairs, shame on you! You are in a position to act. Nupa in your wako. We know what it means to be copied on the letter. You are informed. Do something. Si c'était sese ou, si c'était maman ou, si c'était niece ou nephew ou famille ou obligé de kay faire bagay. You say nothing. Ek la yo mande Emma do butu va parlement, presque même bay la. Ek di, oh, well I don't know who the people are. You don't need to know who the people are. You don't need to know if it's Nancy, if it's Jane, if it's Janet. All you need to know is somebody made the allegation. Say Prime Minister, the right finger, qui a quoi righteous et holy. Il l'église tous les dimanches. Mende jusqu'à bailosti à l'église là. Et qu'on passe à du bout dit right is right and wrong is wrong. Shame on you, Emma. Shame on Emma Hippolyte. Stand up for the women of this country. Stand up for the police officers. People, let me tell you. La pa ni moun ki hope lot, because nou pa di sa pli important pe sa. But let's think about it. These women are police officers. Every day they have to be out there patrolling and trying to protect people from crime and everything else you know. How do you think they feel? What do you think is going on in their mind when they have made that report and nobody seems to be doing nothing about it? Do you think that is fair? It's not. So shame on Emma. What's about Alison? She's in the Senate every day. They say blah, 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 blah. Là, yo te tue ish li a te fait protest. Yo fait tout sort kalte ba Saint Lucia. Why isn't Alison just standing up for the women of the police force? What about the President of the Senate? Miss Alvina Reynolds. She's a former representative for Babonneau. Virginia is her colleague. Why is she not calling Virginia and say, but Virginia, that's not right. Yo di moi kay, mais sem tale. Tout se moun ta ka fe bay sa l'église yo ka ale vraiment. Because yo di moi ils font l'église la Babonneau tout oui. Stand up for something that is right. Stand up for something that is right. Oh, ipadai. Encore. All right. All right. Okay. Then we get to the Prime Minister. So, the latest from the Prime Minister, I listened to the news, and the Prime Minister said, Attorney General has said to him that he needs to hold off on this matter and do nothing. Really, Prime Minister? So you're using the Attorney General as an excuse now for you not to do anything? My people, this matter is going to go further than the St. Lucia Labour Party expected. You see, they think that this is just going to happen and be said. Now, I'll tell you something. This is not a political matter. I want you to get it straight. Ma connaît se madame là. Ma have ki moun yo ye. Ma have si yo se EBA, si yo se Flambeau, si yo se PLP, si yo se PPP, si yo se NOPIS. No political affiliation, and I don't care. And you shouldn't care either. This is not about politics. This is not about the UWP or the Labour Party. This is about us as a political organization with a responsibility to stand up for what is right. That's what it is about. And they have shown you that they don't care. You remember the sergeant of arms who was in the parliament? Kote. They removed her. And they said, oh, well, they promote her. They promoted her by removing her from the parliament. Why? Because when Claudius asked her to stop Alan from leaving, she did not stop Alan from leaving right away. She had to go back out. So they were not happy. They removed her. And they say, oh, well, we promoted her. But she's no longer in the parliament. So maybe that is why some of the women are afraid to speak out. Where is Lisa Jawawa? I can't say her surname. Jawahil, whatever. Where is Lisa? As a young woman who's the communications officer for the St. Lucia Labour Party, she should stand up and say something. She should cry out and say, if it was my niece, my sister, somebody, that we need to do something. Where is she? My people, I want to tell you something. Today, the Prime Minister said, Saidia Spider, what? When that happened? Well, when he see us, and not only United Workers' Party, but when he see women and men of St. Lucia take to the streets in white, in orange, in pink, in purple, in all colors, to demand an independent investigation, you know what he'll say? What? When did that happen? Because I can tell you, my brothers and sisters, this is not about the Joachim thing. Ou changer le Joachim entrer à l'église like ça. Before the night of oath was over, every single one of them stood around him. I stand with Joachim. Imagine that, he may say, non me commit a crime. Non me casse loi. Yo toi de l'église, fête un amour, fait des agouements, disrupt service là. Et Labour Party dit, we stand with Joachim. Well, today, we are standing with the men and women of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. We are standing with all of them. We are saying that enough is enough. United Workers' Party, I want to end by telling you, we will not allow the gentleman to become the commissioner of police until an independent of the results of that independent investigation. So again, as I close, I am sending a message to Mr. Phillips, whoever he is, but the message is very clear. Sir, if you have any integrity, step aside and ask for the investigation. If you're not afraid of anything, tell them, investigate me because I will come out clean. If you cannot say that, then it says to me something is amiss. And I am saying to you that the men and the women of the United Workers' Party, we will continue our town hall, we will continue our campaign, and if it means we have to take to the streets, we will take to the streets to see to it that this matter is resolved. Thank you, God bless you, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, Nancy. The dynamism of the women of the United Workers' Party. You see, Nancy spoke about taking a stand to protect our women. And it was asked by both the General Secretary and Nancy that the acting commissioner of police be sent on leave so that an investigation can be carried out. You know, whenever we speak about those issues, I have called on the Prime Minister to do something about crime in St. Lucia, something serious, and to investigate crime in his cabinet, and he tried to throw it back on us. Well, let me say something to you that distinguishes the United Workers' Party from the Saint Lucia Labour Party. I am proud to say to you that we have a leader who will not tolerate criminals in his midst. We have a leader who will not tolerate misdeeds in his cabinet. Our memories can be very short. And I keep saying, as soon as the Honorable Alan Shastley became political leader of the United Workers' Party, one of the first things he did, okay, he heard all the allegations made by the Saint Lucia Labour Party and the rest of St. Lucia about one Richard Frederick. He took action and dismissed Richard Frederick, expelled him from the party. I remember being in a cabinet with the Honorable Alan Shastley, and there was a little incident that I don't want to go into details about, involving one of our cabinet ministers, that is Jimmy Henry. He took action immediately and dismissed Jimmy Henry from his cabinet. We all remember our porn star, Eubalus Riemann. Once the matter happened a second time, and this time, of course, there was more evidence and all of that. And while it was his personal life, it interfered with his operations as a minister of government. What did the Honorable Alan Shastley do? He dismissed him from his cabinet. Ça c'est moun qui ni principe. But anything goes, everything goes with the St. Lucia Labour Party, and they refuse to clean out the house and do what is right and take a stand against corruption, take a stand against criminality, and take a stand against the misdeeds and embarrassment that is taking place in their government. But the clock is ticking and the time is coming. We will take care of what they refuse to take care of. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right along. Before I move any further, I want to acknowledge the presence of our other deputy political leader, Senator Dominic Fede, who has arrived. And ladies and gentlemen, before I move on any further, I want to take a moment to acknowledge our people in the diaspora who have been very strong for the United Workers' Party. Many of them are listening to us presently. Many of them are making their contributions because they care about their country. And I want to hail up and big up our people in the diaspora in New York, our UWP in Toronto, the in Texas, and of course in the UK. Big up to all of you. We know you are there with us, and we welcome and appreciate your support and the courage that you give us. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move on, let me do flambeau. Ni femme qui s'adoubut. We have women of worth, women of substance, and women who will take a stand on principle. I want to call on one other such woman, okay? The future representative for But this is a woman you will see in the forefront in the leadership of this United Workers' Party, one of the new breed of politicians that we have attracted to our fold, who is very dynamic and very impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to call to the podium Senator Polius to address you.
Mama Iflabo! Ki Saudi Angela? Ki Saudi? Minister Central Castries Kadi Moka Swively? Mais Angela, ou toujours les bagay? Savoué? Il pas dit combien mots qui a suivi. Oh, mais il a pleuré. Il a ouclé. Mots qui a suivi. Qui ça dit là encore? Maintenant, dis-moi. Ou mais une pipe, qui ça pipe dit encore? Qui ça pipe dit? Martin, dis-moi encore. Watch what you eat and eat what. Mama Iflabo! I want to say a pleasant good day to all of you. I also want to salute our friends, our warriors in the diaspora, Canada, Texas, we ready in New York. We are very happy. We are pleased with everything that you have been doing to rally with the United Workers' Party. Those in the UK, we've not forgotten you. Même si people nous en Europe, Saint Lucia, nous savons nous pas là ou savons. But we are happy that you are there with us and you are fighting our cause. You are pushing our agenda. And we know that together we will dethrone the St. Lucia Labour Party. So let us continue to work together. I also want to salute our constituency groups across the island. In every single constituency, I want to salute all those who are doing their own in their private or personal capacity to send out the message and to mobilize you so that you wake up, you see the light of day, and you know that we are on this mission and we are going to rally with the United Workers' Party because we know what our goal is. We know what it is. Sky FM and all those on the radio talk shows who are doing their part. We acknowledge what you've done and we recognize, we support you, and we want to tell you that we are grateful for all that you continue to do for the United Workers' Party. Boba Wedusa, Mama Iflabo. Usa. Kote yo jodia. Yo la kote miku. They are celebrating. What are they celebrating today? Hardship. They are celebrating the victory. Victory à doux. C'est pour ça qu'ils veulent protéger victory. They want to protect the victory. Ils do it. Ils do. But I'll tell you something. St. Lucia Labour Party has failed St. Lucians. St. Lucia Labour Party has failed the farmers of this country. Yo fait farmer kwe ki yo kay trouver market by figla. Oh, nous ka voter by market nous. Nous ka voter. Après ça, qui côté aller? Qui côté market là aller? Où savent ça c'est farmer ka di après ça? Messieurs, dis oui, dis non. En bas, gouvernement flambeau, nous farmers trop primaire. This is what they say. And the very same Labour Party supporters, they are the ones saying it. Mais où savent ça de Okadi? Où savent ça de ces ministres Okadi? Gasopé là, même si Baye Wed pas parler. Ate Denrinoff. Pièce Jean Leba, pièce Tipote Leba. Qui complain? Kadi bagay ki wed. Fama, qui complain? Yo gadi yo garçon, just pay bouchou là, même si Baye Wed pas parler. This is what they are doing to our farmers. They failed our farmers. And then enough. Moi ka changer ça. Monsieur Sean Edward, il te ka aller à sous femme. Yon a se supporter là. Laurent, ma dit non. Laurent. Il te ka amasser toute qualité bien figue. Ça, gouvernement les bas, UWP TownHall. Il était allé à la femme là, amasser toute vieille figue, allié, bochimien, many HTS, many choice. Vini pour qui l'État figue là, l'État femme aye, en disant Denrinoff, à présent qui côté y qui côté y pas yon mon parole, il a dit c'est femme, cause soulagement. Now that you are in office, your party is in office. What are you saying to the farmers? Oh, so ou ka kiye farmer qui supporte seulement en disant meeting. Farmer qui supporte seulement c'est yo seulement qui farmer en Denrinoff. This is nonsense. And we have to send the message to him. We have to send the message. Chaque laïcien qui parle avec qui est non yo, c'est femme. Il pas oublier après ce qui côté ou pas qui est non yo. Ou pas qui est non yo. You have failed. You have failed the people of this country. You have failed the people of Denrinoff. You have failed the people of UFOT. The St. Lucia Labour Party has failed you. So, Yomiku ka célébrer victoire. Dès l'année a passé, l'école est ouverte. L'argent ça là, yo ka prend pour célébrer victoire. Pour tu yo pas mettre assoui ek bay maman, ek papa, ati bagay pour sa rwande, acheter bagay maman pour se puis l'école. Where is the back to school? Give them some relief. If you say you care about them so much. If you say you care about them so much. And you're going to celebrate what? You know another way they have failed us? À présent, l'année à côté, en Valais Mabouya. Avant pour Health Center, l'année à côté, messieurs, ma sa même côté, à l'aile, mais combien d'accidents qu'ils ont fait? Yon grand tout qui en chimère. Combien d'accidents qui j'ai fait là? Dimanche, bon matin, moi, je descendre à l'aéroport là. Et moi, juste qu'à parler et puis niver moi. Nous qu'à descendre. Et nous qu'à dire, messieurs, hier, un accident est fait là, vous savez. Qu'on a vu, bon dis, des machines, croisées, police là, en l'autre accident. A dit dans même tout ça là. Et vous savez qui mon est? Qui mon est, yo ka manger? Yo ka mette, qui c'est yo ka mette ready mix en ciment? Is this what we need on our roads? And they had so much to say when the United Workers' Party wanted to ensure that the people of St. Lucia, drivers, they had good roads. À présent, chimère a mangé poche tout le monde. Chimère a mangé poche tout le monde. Quantité l'argent, moun ni pour te penser, because les machines ont tué, ça y ont tué, en disant c'est tout, c'est les bons coins, en l'autre machine, c'est l'argent, en chaille l'argent, ou qu'à dépenser. They have fooled you. They have fooled the people of St. Lucia. And you know, Nancy mentioned it. Nancy mentioned it. The St. Lucia Labour Party has failed the women of this country. They have failed our female police officers. And the Prime Minister has the audacity. Nous ne pas bouger un clown, parce que nous pas ni pièce ici. Nous bouger un monde, un premier ministre, un leader qui sait gouverner place ici. We need a serious man, not a joker. We need a competent prime minister, not a jerk. We don't need a comedian. Ebe, Spider a dit comment? Si il pas qu'à joindre advice là, from c'est les autres moun là qui en ont là. Spider a dit, allez, I check. Because something is not right. Something is not right. It's not right. And I want to say to you, our people, without a struggle, there is no progress. No progress whatsoever. And I know that you all have seen how vibrant the United Workers' Party has become over the past few months. We have re-emerged. I know that you were very depressed after we've lost, but that did not break our spirits. You know what it did? In fact, our defeat caused us to be even more determined, and to work together, because we know that we have a victory ahead of us. Vous savez ça? Jean Lebahaka célèbre victoire nous. They are already celebrating for us. I want to urge all of you, those here, as well as those who are following us, watching, listening, those in the diaspora. Let us continue to unite our voices. Let us continue to work hard. Let us continue to support each other rather than breaking each other down. Let us encourage, motivate, inspire our brothers and sisters. Let us not chase people out of our camp. our supporters who are not too satisfied, let us not chase them out, but to encourage them. To encourage them and to tell them that, you know what, they need to be a little patient. The time is coming. Our
roundabout project, which I drove past to come here. Is it the shock housing project, which they have stopped? Is it the Rendezvous Road, which they have stopped? But I'll give you this one. My favorite is the Cabot project. You know why? Because I saw a bunch of people in red t-shirts singing the song by Gabby, Jack Don't Want Me to Bathe on My Beach. And when the project opened and the ribbon is cut, the first people to drink champagne and to celebrate that same project are the people who are in Mikud trying to find something to celebrate. Such is the hypocrisy, such is the duplicity of the St. Lucia Labour Party. We, your government, your party, left a solid foundation for Philip J. Pear and the St. Lucia Labour Party for them to boast about now. Their focus is only on Alan Shasney. Alan Shasney, Alan Shasney, Alan Shasney. They are fixated with UWP and what we are doing. Rather than governing the country, rather than fixing the crime situation, rather than making sure that they remove corruption from the police force and deal with serious allegations of sexual harassment, rather than finishing St. Jude's, and up to now, they do not have a cost for St. Jude's Hospital, but yet they have decided that they will go back to the old project when they don't know how much it's going to cost for them to finish the project. My brothers and sisters, I say to you today, be of good cheer. Your time in opposition is only for a short time longer. It is only a matter of time that we will come back and win the next election and put the United Workers' Party where it rightly deserves to govern the affairs of this country. I thank you and good night.
Let's hear it again for our Senator Dominic Fele. And as Dominic said to you, they are protecting what is ours. So they can go ahead and protect it for us, but let them know we are coming to take what is ours. And the victory belongs to the United Workers' Party. Labour Lukavini! The Labour Lukavini! And who better to remind Labour Party and to give them that message would be our former minister and former parliamentary representative for Grosily, a man who has served the United Workers' Party long before I became a candidate. He knows every nook and cranny of St. Lucia. He understands government and governance, and he has served as a man of integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Leonard Spider Montoot, the communications officer for the United Workers' Party.
Thank you, Nancy. Hello again, Flabo family. It is now 2 years, almost midterm. I remember when I used to go to school, we had a midterm test, where when it became midterm, we had to grade you, and then at the end of term, you have the big test. This one is just a midterm test. When the election comes, it will be the big test. But let me ask you a simple question. Are you better off today under Labour than you were when UWP was in office? The St. Lucia Labour Party has the audacity to say that they are celebrating today, 2 years after the victory. So, they are celebrating the fact that they pulled off a bluff on St. Lucia. They are celebrating the fact that they got a country that was thriving and doing well for them by the United Workers' Party that they are squandering. What exactly is it that they are celebrating? They asked St. Lucians to protect the victory. Like I said earlier, what victory? It is a victory for them, but a loss for St. Lucia and misery for us. And we have to bear in mind, because it is not the first time it has happened to us. I recall vividly when we were doing very well between 2006, 2011, all kinds of projects in all of the constituencies. We were able to navigate the then economic crisis of 2007, 2008. But the Labour Party came and promised St. Lucia's better days. Fell for it. We saw our mistake, and in 2016 we brought back the United Workers' Party. Then came the United Workers' Party, again putting our shoulders to the wheel. We were able in no time to reduce unemployment in this country. We began the infrastructural development to lay the foundation for economic and social development in St. Lucia through our road projects, through our sporting infrastructure, through the repairs and building of schools, and all of the programs that we had put in place, like the after-school programs, the e-book program for school children, and all of those things that we had begun to unroll. And of course, unfortunately for us, like I always say, then came COVID. COVID interrupted the development program and the thrust that we had going on for the advancement of St. Lucia at the time. That did not deter us. Our generation, generations before us, had never seen anything such as that pandemic called COVID-19. And what did we do? We were among the world leaders in terms of our handling of the disease of the pandemic COVID-19. Barbados and all of those other countries were wondering what it is we were doing in St. Lucia to be able to manage the health situation and at the same time to keep people's livelihood going. I remember the first person I heard that phrase from. Managing lives and livelihood. And that we had to coexist with COVID. Alan Michael Chastney. And so we did an admirable job keeping down the number of deaths from COVID. We did a magnificent job reopening the economy as soon as possible. Okay? Getting tourists to start coming to St. Lucia again way before any of the other islands, and at the same time controlling health situations of St. Lucians. As soon as the St. Lucia Labour Party assumed office, and let's not forget they got into office during COVID. They got into office during COVID-19. As soon as they came in, about 400 St. Lucians just died one after the other. Okay? That is the kind of mismanagement and bad governance that we have been experiencing from them. You all forget those things. Do not forget what the current Prime Minister said when he was in opposition. When Alan Michael Chastney, Dominic Fede, people in the economic ministry like Guy Joseph and the rest of us decided that we were going to start to put things in place to reopen the economy and that we were going to get visitors to begin to come back to St. Lucia. His words were, only the United Workers' Party government and Alan Chastney believe tourism will ever recover and be what it was again. Today, he is riding and extracting the benefit of that vision of the United Workers' Party. That is what has the economy where it is. And so when he talked about experiencing positive growth in 2022 and in 2023, it is as a result of the vision and the work of the United Workers' Party he experienced that. And so I am very proud to be associated with this United Workers' Party. I stand strong with the United Workers' Party because I know in my heart that that is the party, St. Lucia and St. Lucians. Whenever, I have said it many times and I'm going to say it again, whenever Labour is in office, we experience hardship. Whenever Flambeau is in office, progress and development is what we experience. And so let us examine the performance of the St. Lucia Labour Party to date. Now, I don't want to be biased. I want to give them the credit first, and then I'm going to criticize them. And here's the credit I have to give them. Thank God they decided to keep one or two of the projects that we started. They are completing the Orange Grove Mall. You know, the tourism that we opened up, and they said that we should shut down the country and prevent visitors from coming. Thank God they followed our plan. They didn't do that. And so any success that they're experiencing now is as a result of the work of the United Workers' Party. So let's talk about what they promised us and what they have done. Let's begin with the little things. When our economy was shut down, nothing was happening. No tourists coming in, no money flowing, no goods being imported. Nothing is happening. The United Workers' Party paid the public servants of St. Lucia their full salary. During that time, we decided that since people are not traveling, nothing is happening in the main sector of our economy, we decided to keep the economy going. We rolled out our road projects. We already had a plan to improve our road infrastructure, and we had put in place that 150 on gas, especially for maintenance and development of roads. So we rolled out a road project. You saw roads being built and being repaired in St. Lucia like you never ever saw before in your lives. And you know what the result was? Not only did you have a better ride, you know there were places people couldn't even walk, let alone drive. After that, it was less time to get home, a comfortable ride to get home, less money spent on car parts, and your properties increase in value. And along with that, we were laying down the foundation for the development of the economy when we would have built our new airport in Beaufort, when we would have established a new seaport for cruise ships, for home porting cruise ships in Beaufort, when we would have had the DSH in the south, when we would have expanded with projects like Cabot and other hotel developments in the north. The road network to accommodate that was already being established. And what did they do? They stopped the road development in Rodney Bay. With the result that today we have all kinds of traffic congestion to the north. And of course, we have to spend a lot of money to continue that project because they breached the contract and they have to pay the contractors and then hire a new contractor and pay more money to do the job. That is the kind of vision and management that they have. Now, while we were doing all of this in the heights of COVID, you know what they were telling you? We had an economy that was totally decimated by COVID. But we were paying the public servants their salary. We were giving assistance to the poor and needy in this country. We were giving assistance, employment assistance to people who had lost their jobs. We were giving $500 to help people meet their daily needs during that time. You know what the current Prime Minister said? That is not enough. If a St. Lucia Labour Party government was to get into office, they would triple it and give you $1,500. Vous savez, nous pas supposé ni meeting ça ici à Rodia. Nous tout est supposé descendre miku et faire ba nous $1,500. These are the kind of bluffs they pull on St. Lucian. Cabot, remember, was the worst project. Cabot would bankrupt NIC. They took a loan from NIC, which they have paid back with interest to the benefit of NIC, which returns to the benefit of St. Lucians. Okay? That project now is a project that is employing people and enhancing our product as a tourist destination. They are there now drinking champagne, okay, and eating steak. That is a project where they protested Jack Cabell on my bitch. I'm tempted to say, you're a son of a... And, you know, these are the bluffs they pulled over us. We cannot forgive them for that. You do not gain people's confidence and support. You do not gain people's votes through deceit. Come clean, present a plan, and let the people vote for you on the merit of that plan. But what? They didn't have any plan. You remember their only plan was to beat PAN? Their only plan was to beat PAN. Now recently I saw some of them beating a PAN. I saw them beating a PAN recently, PAN hot vid duju. You know? And they will continue to beat PAN until the United Workers' Party returns to office. Because we have a plan for the development of this country that we have presented to St. Lucians, and you know, when we are in office, we implement and we produce. Check what has happened in the constituencies throughout the length and breadth of St. Lucia. Well, Soufrière stands out a little more. Castries South stands out a lot. Ancillary countries, but don't forget what happened in Grosile, what happened in Babonneau in terms of development of your constituencies. Do not forget that. That only happens under the United Workers' Party. I was tempted to say 2 years ago that Stephenson King was among the best minister for infrastructure in this country. But somebody remind me, wait, he's still the infrastructure minister, let us see. After 2 years, what are we seeing? So c'est pas Stephenson King, it was the United Workers' Party. And so when it comes to delivering, we have delivered and we are ready. We stand ready to continue to deliver to you, the people of St. Lucia, exactly what it is that you deserve. So let us grade them on what they have done. Have they given you your 1 out of 5? You know what they are giving you? Now some people say, give them a chance. I was on a program Wednesday, they say, give them a chance. After 2 years, give them a chance. Half of the term is almost gone. Give them a chance. But finally, they will be doing something this week. They will be doing something this week. But what they'll be doing? Imposing 2.5% levy on you. Okay? And they say it is a levy for security and health. Huh? And so, when they do that, you know what's going to happen? The price of all commodities that is subjected to VAT will rise. The price of many other things that are not exempted from that tax will rise, making life hard for you. I hear you all complaining our cost of living is high. You all ain't seen nothing yet. You all ain't seen nothing yet. And don't forget, we removed 2.5% on the VAT and brought it down to 12.5%. They wanted to bring it back, but they're pretending they're not touching the VAT, so they're going to a 2.5 levy for health and security. All those gimmicks on these guys. But you know what happened? If the VAT was 15%, it's less, 12.5% plus the 2.5% on top of it. So they are making life even harder for St. Lucians. And let me tell you what you have achieved under the Saint Lucia Labour parties thus far. Okay, when we talk about high cost of living and when we talk about quality of life, the price of bread has gone up. The price of bread has gone up. The price of electricity has gone up. That means at home, you have to spend more money on bills. If you have a business, you have to spend more money on overheads, making things difficult for you to survive. Okay? Gas prices went down on the world market, but they kept the price of gas around $17 here in St. Lucia. While neighboring islands was able to bring down the price to reflect what the world market was, they were extorting money from you, keeping the price of gas way up there. And then they go and boast about they make $70 million, excess in revenue on the backs of St. Lucians. This is a government that has no conscience. This is a government that does not care about you. And that is why the United Workers' Party is letting you know and informing you now that instead of putting you first, the St. Lucia Labour Party has put you worse. And so, I don't want to take too much time because we started a little late and we have other speakers to come. Our chairman has to address you and our other deputy political leader has to address you. And so let us just get the tests out of the way. Well, they have been put to the test and let us assess their performance. So we graded them. Now you can give them an A, B, C, D, E, or F. When it comes to the cost of living in St. Lucia, what grade do you give them? The price of bread going up. What about the tax that is coming on your back this week? Hiwanora Airport, has it started? What grade do you give them for that? What about the seaport in Viewport for cruise ships? What about the roads that were going on so well in this country? What grade do you give them for that? Okay, what about the handling of the passport situation? Now let's stop here for a moment. Because they teacher can just make a grade on the paper F, but they come in a T note. You come in a T note now. And me a T note la. And me a T note by you. You increase the cost of our passport. You say to increase security so that countries that issue visas to us will accept our passport as being secure. And now we are hearing that we are about to be told that we need visas to go to the UK when under UWP you did not need that. So parce que en parmi hot ni moun ki pa ni visa, hot parmi les si less than pa ni visa. What about the handling of the CIP program where the government of St. Lucia is supposed to present a report to the parliament on the receipt of revenue and how the money is spent? What grade do you give them for that? Now, Messi, let's get serious now. When I said that we are living in fear in this country, the Minister of National Security, the Minister of Housing, and some others took objection to it. Today, we are afraid in this country because of the level of gun violence and crime that is taking place in this country. So when it comes to the handling of crime in this country, what grade do you give the St. Lucia Labour Party? And let me say something about crime. I kept calling on the Minister of National Security, sir, if you do not have the answers and you do not have a clue, appoint somebody else to do the job. Iwetela, ukani 5 moun kamo adan yon weekend. Alan Chasney c'est pas Prime Minister encore. Nathan voit Alan Chasney avant moi tan voit Prime Minister, avant moi tan voit Minister of National Security. That is unacceptable. And when the media approaches the Minister of National Security, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and asks you about crime, your best answer so far is, "Moi pas police, papa moi qui police." So ça veut dire, "I m'a dit bye-bye." Hote vote bye-bye. Ebe c'est mon qui le vote balia, qui ga dit, "I m'a dit bye-bye" là. Moi hope hot réaliser. Les hote vote balia, hote ni espoir mal bye-bye. So, I said, I personally, just like all of you flambos, have a serious problem with the fact that my freedom in this country is being threatened by criminal activity. Parce que hot changer, c'est criminel la ferme vieux fort. Yo me curfew en les gens vieux fort. OK? Criminel me curfew en les gens vieux fort. Là était 6 heures pas personne en ville vieux fort. C'est criminel la ferme l'école. Ex-criminal la ferme business. That happened right here in St. Lucia under the nose of the Prime Minister. Only thing that we heard from him was that he'll bring RSS. Who's up to RSS V4? Come mun kamo. Which means you do not have the answer and your plans are not working. And so, when I see the poor handling of crime, I warned that this would threaten our economic survival in St. Lucia. Folks, I don't know whether you realize it, it is happening already. When France, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, can issue an advisory to the citizens to tell them, be careful about going to St. Lucia, because St. Lucia is a dangerous place and you're not safe and secure when you go to St. Lucia. That will affect our tourism. Parce que ma pour les autres, but nous gozile avec Babonneau, ka dépend en laisser matniken pour venir Saint Lucia, pour venir spend l'argent pour nous faire un petit dollar. Ça qui ni guest house, ça qui ni restaurant, we depend on that business. And now there's an advisory. So when I was warning and saying to them that would be the result, here it is. But you know what? Instead of doing something about it, they do best. Blame. So what? You guys blame Flambeau for shortcomings you, for shortfalls you. So the Prime Minister, in true fashion, said that it was the media, first of all, how they were reporting crime, and the opposition who were making irresponsible statements. And because of what we were saying, the matter put on the advisory. But moi, ça, monsieur, on a dit, c'est mon qui parle about crime. Moi, je warn the Prime Minister, Minister of National Security. Il pas pour warning naturellement, il veut blâmer nous. Bon, ben, d'où ça qui fait là, moi, défense comme moi. C'est pas moi qui dit c'est matnicien, moi, je mauvais. Les bagailles viennent mauvais, faut et pipe pas ça pour faire écuyer, c'est même matnicien ça là. Okay? So they have first-hand knowledge. Juste chien matnik qui décide de s'y try with the crime. Okay? So they have first-hand knowledge of what is taking place here. It's not UWP that told them. Okay? So, fix the problem. Instead of celebrating and protecting the victory, protect the people of St. Lucia. Protect the economy of St. Lucia. Protect the reputation of St. Lucia. These are the things that need to be protected, and that is what we are prepared to defend and protect given the opportunity once again. And so, ladies and gentlemen, never mind all the hoorah that is taking place today in Miku. We know who is who. We know what is what. They have failed us. They have failed us miserably. They have failed us miserably. And so, I say to you, you have kept our hope alive. Keep the faith and see us through till the end. Because come the next election, you will get liberation. Liberation from fear, liberation from criminal activity, and you will start to live a good life in this country once again. Because our primary concern, your freedom, your safety, and your quality of life. And the United Workers' Party has a plan and has what it takes, the men and women who can deliver on those promises and make sure your life gets better. But kusang I want not. Let nous fin faire ça après 5 ans. Pas quitter Charles Kenezot encore. Let vini, we shall do this, we shall do that, we shall. Pas quitter Charles Kenezot encore. Because we have to protect our country and continue to develop the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for the faith you have kept in this party. I want to thank all the different arms and organizations of this party. I want to thank our people in the diaspora for the support that they have been giving us. And I want to ask you to continue to stand in defense of your country and continue to stand to ensure the continued development of your country by bringing back the United Workers' Party under Alan Michael Chasney. We have other speakers, and before I leave the podium, I will introduce the next speaker. This is a man. Because from day one, he commenced a campaign. From day one, he started the campaign. And let me just say, hats off to people like Terrell Prudent. Let me just say, hats off to people who on Sky FM, like Champagne, Dr. Secret, Coach, and all the others. They kept the flame burning. Econancy do. Buju Bantandi, we were buried alive, but we were still breathing. You know? Yo wait long là nous, mais flambeau a brûlé toujours. And so, I call on one of those soldiers who continue to soldier on with the United Workers' Party, our current chairman, Mr. Terrell Prudent, to address you.
Thank you, Spider. Are we ready? Flambeau, are you ready? You know, les bacs que nous avons joué, c'est pas black nous là. Nous sérieux, because the whole thrust of the United Workers' Party is to remove this government from the seat of power. And that's what we are going to do. So tonight, we are putting the Labour Party on warning. Après ça, on prend tellement de temps. Nous allons commencer par autolement et glossique, because that's what you need right now. You know, Spider said, I'm giving the Labour Party an F. Well, tonight, I'm giving them an I. What does that mean? Incompetent. That's what I'm giving to them. Incompetent. That's what we're giving to them. That's what they deserve. And you know, you heard me talk about Toloma a while ago. I talk about Toloma for a reason. C'est là my lad, ou faible, ou besoin Toloma. Après ça, commence à manufacture Toloma because tout ça qui supporte Labour, kay besoin Toloma et glossikwe. And that's a fact. My friends, the Labour Party is meeting in Meku today to protect the victory. No worry about that. Our job is not to protect the victory. Our job is to dismantle the victory. And not only are we going to dismantle the victory, nuka dewaye, nuka just tiwe. Remove it, dekambwele. Tesa nuka fair. And you know why we have to dekambwele the victory? We have to dekambwele the victory so that the people of St. Lucia can breathe again. From all these sufferings, we have to be able to dekambwele that victory so our people can live again. And my friends, tonight, I want to say to you, United Workers' Party needs to return back to what it does best, which is governing this country. And you and I know, and I'm never going to shy away from it, that we are the champions of St. Lucia's development. And that's a fact. We are the champions of this country's development. So whilst Labour is celebrating 2 years of doing nothing, we as UWP must celebrate every day for bringing this country to where it is today. And that's under a UWP government. And so, because our job is to celebrate where we are in terms of where the development in this country, I want to put you on alert. You must get ready. You must get ready. You must retain your focus because you're all part of the army of the United Workers' Party. That's who you are. And so, we're not asking one group of people to take care of things. We're asking for all hands to be on deck. Punutiwe Labour from Peisala. Finish with them. My friends, you want to know, sometimes we talk about the machinery of the United Workers' Party. The machinery of the United Workers' Party is you. The branches. That's what it entails in terms of the machinery of the party. And if our oil is dirty, we are going to lose. But if our oil is clean and shining, Pete call Labour, and that is a fact. And so I'm saying to you this evening, get ready. Get ready to be trained. get ready to be educated about the strategy of the United Workers' Party to remove this government from the seat of office. I am not here tonight pour dire les bas affaires nous. All nous ka di yo c'est mette kozot en ordre because we are coming for you. We are coming for you. And when we will meet behind closed doors, when we will sit as a family between closed doors, we will discuss our plan to remove this government off the backs of the people of this country. My friends, we need you. And today I also want to give a shout out to the folks in the diaspora. I am happy to have been part of this reorganization. I was happy to be part of what we call the Flubber Caucuses. And we had, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about it for the very reason that they're doing in terms of what they're doing today. They are out there working hard to support the UWP and to help remove this government of the backs of the people of this country. That's what they are doing. And so, I want to say to you, I don't want to be long. I don't want to be boring. I want to drag this thing along. All I can say to you is, when you elected me as chairman, you didn't elect me to sleep. When you elected me as chairman, you elected me to be an activist chairman, and I am going to continue to deliver on the promise of activism. And the only way I can deliver on it is to help inspire you to be able to make that change. And when the time comes, I can promise you that if you do what you have to do, we will go to the promised land. And the promised land is to bring our party back to government. And that promised land is to be able to say, we beat you. But we will not go in their faces and tell them, we beat you. We beat you because of all the bad things you have done in the last 2 years. That's where we beat you at. We take the fight to you, and we are going to beat you. And we don't have to wave in your faces. We are not going to Mateo by putting our fingers in your faces. We are going to prove to you on the next elections and on polling day that we are going to bring our army out to help deliver this country. My friends, there are difficult days ahead. In a hurry, and it's because St. Lucia cannot wait one more time or 1 second for us to deliver our country. Folks, we have a great cast. You did the right thing to not just elect me as chairman. You did the right thing to appoint and elect every single person who is sitting here this evening. And you know why? God, in his wisdom, put some wisdom into you to tell you these are the men and women you want to help move your party forward. And they are just doing that. There is total unity between us. I don't have to curse Spider not cursing me, Nancy not cursing me, I not cursing Guy not cursing me. When we sit down and we say we are working, you may not know, but we spend hours doing what? In the interest of the United Workers' Party. And this is what we are doing. Because it's not about us. It's not about what we want. It's not about the fact that we want this or we want that. Nous pas vle rien passer flambeau via pouvoir. That's the only thing we want. And so, I am asking you to continue to give your executive the respect and the support that it needs so that it can complete your work for you. Pour nous accomplir travail ça là, ou ben nous. Et là nous point sérieux, là nous tout sérieux, là nous tout fini sérieux. C'est laisse là les bagages commencer kaka asuyo because you ni pour kaka asuyo. They have to, because they will realize that the United Workers' Party is made up of men and women who are committed to the cause of change and who are committed to a better St. Lucia. And this is what we are going to deliver to you under a united workers' party. I love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Well, boy, we have a team. And you know what? The leadership of that team is very important. So you heard from our chairman. But you know who's the team captain? I want to remind you of our team captain. He's not here with us this evening. But the man who will continue the good work that he started, Honorable Alan Michael Shasney. Now, talking about team captains, you know who is the captain of the current team? Philip J. Pierre. Now, I do not know how much you know about your current team captain, your Prime Minister. But you know, I have a serious problem when my friends and colleagues from overseas call me and try to suggest that my country has now become a circus. L'année un jour, moi, debout dans la plateforme avec moi dit, si Prime Minister c'est un comedian, at least l'année un va, il va être comedian. Mais as far as moi concerned, c'est pas like affaire, c'est pas une comédie, c'est Gwen. So it's a book Gwen. Now, when you have a Prime Minister who has made so many outs, so many foolish statements in the space of 2 years. Oh, you all have a list of them? Well, let's see how many of them we can remember. Ask the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the country that he is leading, where is it located? The Prime Minister said St. Lucia is in Europe. The Prime Minister and his colleagues, you know, they have a serious problem with our leader. And so when our leader talks, it causes them heartache and it causes them pain. So the Prime Minister wants our leader to apologize. So he asked our leader to say 3 words. What are those 3 words? The Prime Minister has many portfolios. Apart from being Prime Minister, he's Minister of Finance, he's Minister of Youth Economy, he is also Minister of National Security. Mr. Minister of National Security, what do you have to say about the crime situation in St. Lucia? Hey, my police. My father was a police. I am not a police. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister has at least some good advice for you. He is concerned about our health. So he's going to talk to you about your diet. What did the Prime Minister say to you? St. Lucians, watch what you eat and eat what you watch. You know the Prime Minister, when leader of the opposition, market steps, said that if you elect a St. Lucia Party government, he would triple, the salary support that UWP was giving, and he'll give 1,500. When Andre Paul asked him about that, he said, I never said that. Nobody can show you a recording where I ever said that. You know, next day they play that recording, and you know the man is still saying he never said that. I mean, if it wasn't so serious, it would be funny. Now, I once said that as Minister of National Security and Prime Minister, given the crime situation, the Prime Minister must set an example by weeding out all criminal elements in his cabinet and taking care of any corruption that exists in his government. He said to me, nobody has fingered any of his ministers. Now between us, we know that they themselves have fingered one of their ministers. So I leave it at that. You know, the Prime Minister once said, I heard, was it Farah, talking about a pothole in an area where all the accidents happening, Well, for the Prime Minister who is there right now, that's not a problem. Because guess what? $5 can block a hole. You know, your former Prime Minister was once a Minister of Tourism and now a Minister of Finance. The mainstay of our economy in St. Lucia, every school child, every kindergarten, every preschool child knows it is tourism. You know, the Prime Minister recently said he never knew how important tourism was to the economy of St. Lucia. The Prime Minister, you heard Nancy say it, said that he's going to introduce a new tax on you. But you don't have to worry yourself, because it's not everything that tax is going to be on. And one of the things for sure that tax will not be put on is period products. When I heard that, I said, it must be a clown, period. So, now, let's get serious. The crime situation is out of control. It is out of hand. As a result of the crime situation in this country today, the French have issued an advisory. Mr. Prime Minister, what do you have to say about that advisory? What? When did that happen? I mean, I can go on and on with embarrassment upon embarrassment. Is that the man you want as your Prime Minister in your country? It is time to save face. Let us regain sanity. Let us regain competence. Let us put people who know something about management to manage this country. A government that cannot even manage to bring in sugar and rice when we need it. When there is no shortage of sugar and rice, you can't give them. Samin Spudi, si you buy your run anti-boutique, you baga fesa. That is not a government to run our country. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to recommend to you a team of men and women with a proven track record. A leader who has proven himself. And I have to go back to COVID. A leader who has proven himself. Who had St. Lucia on the right track. Who had St. Lucia on a path to development and growth. And we derailed that. And of course, with him is a competent team of men and women who will ensure it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, I call on one of those men who will be in that team to ensure that we continue the development of this country. A man who they have a major problem with. A man who gives them all kinds of heart pains, all kinds of labor pains, but they can't do anything with him. You know what one of the promises they cannot deliver on is? As soon as they win the next election, you're going to meet the Guy Lajol. Guy Lajol? Si Guy Lajol? Eh bien, si Guy pas Lajol, moi, Guy finit ici à pour adresser nous actuellement. Because
thank you very much. Mamai Flamo, bonsoir. It is indeed a wonderful privilege to address you. And the light of the Flamo will always guide the way in St. Lucia. Thank you. Today, as I begin my presentation at this all-important town hall meeting, I want to acknowledge all of you who left your homes from 7 o'clock this morning. You attended church service at the Catholic Church and at the Pentecostal Church. And some of you have spent the entire day right here in this area in Babonneau. We acknowledge and we applaud you. For those who have joined us later on this afternoon, those of you who came in, we thank you for being here. I bring you special greetings from our political leader, Honorable Alan Michael Shasney. Let me tell you, there is one leader in this United Workers' Party, and that is the man Alan Michael Shasney. And so, he cannot be here, but he knows that he has a capable team, an able team of men and women who can carry out the work in his absence. Now, I will touch a few issues that I believe just by way of passing we need to mention. Do you know that Philip J. Pierre wants to blame Alan Shasney for what the French authorities have done? He said, well, the United Workers' Party political leader is saying that St. Lucians are living in fear. But isn't it a fact that people in St. Lucia were living in fear? The first set of people who brought a major event into Vieux-Fort since the crime escalation in Vieux-Fort was the United Workers' Party. And some people even said, is it Vieux-Fort you all are going to? Because the United Workers' Party believes that the south of the island is as important as the north of the island when it comes to the development of St. Lucia. Now listen to this. You know, Philip J. Pierre forgot that when they were in opposition between 2006 and 2011, that Kenny Anthony said they were writing to all investors to tell them, do not come and invest in St. Lucia because of alleged corruption. Not proven corruption, you know, alleged corruption. Now we are not alleging that there is a crime problem in St. Lucia. This is a fact that there is a crime problem in St. Lucia. And Philip J. Pierre, whether you like it or not, you have failed. You have failed in all of your portfolios as a minister and as a prime minister. You know, we have not written to any foreign organizations. But if you see they confirm this commissioner of police with the allegations concerning sexual misconduct, then we will have to write to every organization in the world and let them know that this is a lawless country. Hot investigate me pour 5 l'année. Dès l'année, hot ka investigate me toujours. Yon police commissioner hot 4 complaint lan about li hot pa sa investigate li. You could stand up in front of the television cameras in your New Year's address a year ago and say y'all have restarted the linguist report. Mem investigation do pate savanya me ou ka restart li. So sou ka restart li sa minute ha start avant kuma. Because you didn't say you starting it. You restarting. So, but I'm here still. I'm waiting for them. As I speak to you, do you know that the officers at Babonneau is on strike? And they brought the recruits from the police force to manage it, but they cannot manage it. So it's just senior management that is running the Babonneau Correctional Facility as we speak. In 2 years, in 2 years, 2 years, you know, doctors have gone on strike. NIC have gone on strike. Hospital on strike. Okay? Now Babonneau is on strike. Customs officers have been on strike. C.O. Williams have been on strike. Delane Usav. Now Usava Shaimundi Leotan said Delane. Everywhere I pass, people telling me, bon Dieu. Delane tout sel ki hale. Nou pa hape to alane ek ba isa Usav. People cannot imagine another 3 years under Philip J. Pierre and the St. Lucia Labour Party. Now, here's another one. Young people, don't let them try and fool you with the youth economy. An economy must be performing well for businesses to succeed. Now, Pierre said he's an economist. I believe that he has a degree. And I'll not be like others to say he didn't earn his degree. But if he earned his degree, I think he would understand that 75% of small businesses fail within the first 3 years of establishment. Anybody who would have done a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in business management would understand that the first few years of a business is the most critical aspect. Now, what makes a small business successful is you must have a buoyant economy. Moun oblige ni l'argent pour acheter bay. Si pas sa business pa ka survive. Now, if Pierre didn't understand the importance of tourism, you think he can understand how a small business works? I don't think he can. So, here's another thing they did, young people. Here's another thing they did. You send Claudius on pre-retirement leave. Claudius Emmanuel as the PS of Economic Development, and you hire somebody who is older than him to fill in his position. So, kimanye usabon nom asu retirement ki ha konet travail la, ki te hala ka fait travail la. Ou voye asu retirement, ou pa bayan contract, mais ou mène un homme qui a retire qui pli grand passer Claudius pour replace Claudius as the PS. So the young people, and who you brought? The brother of the Deputy Prime Minister of Saint Lucia. Même ces noms-là qui t'est involved à ces bobol Range Rover. Ek mwen di se bobol Range Rover, ek yo sa challenge mo asusa. Because even if Thaddeus as the lawyer tells them, you can use anybody's paper and go and buy something duty-free, it is wrong. It is wrong. So, I tell them to challenge me on this statement. You use your diplomatic status in the UK to buy a vehicle for your brother who was in a regional organization of customs where they are penalizing other people for doing these things. Deban avocat menti ek volé ensemble. And you come in on television and tell people it is okay to involve in corrupt practices. And when you see other countries start putting warnings about St. Lucia, you want to blame Flambeau. What you sow is what you reap. Sa ou plante, c'est ça ou ka récolter. C'est ça que moi moun toujours dit. So I'm going on. I want to say something, but I'll not say it. Maybe it's not appropriate for her. I know this afternoon, this evening, you are hearing the buses left Babonneau. L'année pli moun à town hall sa après-midi parce moun quitte Babonneau kay mikou ay celebrate. And you know we like a good time. You know we like a line. Ek si yo ka buy free transportation, ek free drinks, ek yo pate sa hen 4 van moun. Now yo desen ek 10 van nou sav. But yo pate, you should come to OKU. Is there anybody going to OKU that's not an emergency? Now, si la pan doctor, ki moun ki ka assess situation pou do sa emergency, so we will attend to you. Do you see the trouble that we are in? My people of the United Workers' Party, I have a few words of advice for the Saint Lucia Labour Party. We had started refurbishing the dialysis unit at the George Odlum Stadium, and we said we were doing it at the new St. Jude Hospital. We said to them, there were a number of chairs. Let us complete that facility so that the people of the South can get the dialysis treatment. Do you know we were 85% complete on that project? And since the Labour Party came into office, they stopped the project. And they have not completed it. And I can tell you, quite a few persons have died because they cannot afford to get the dialysis treatment that is required. Now, I will not say it's the government that killed them, but I will say the negligence of the government have resulted in the deaths of many people in this country, both in the handling of COVID and in what is happening in the health sector. Another thing, I will tell you the other one, the contract for the Millennium Highway was signed by the Ministry of Economic Development. Now, lewe nom pa ha fait travail. A bad workman always blames his tools. Pas ça nous happen. Un homme qui pa ka fait bon travail, ses outils a ka blâmer. Il pa dit c'est lui qui pa sa servi outils. Now, you te vle dead with, so you pray. Yo e gose, ek yo mizi we gose a pou ability pou travay. But gwa mundu ti hash kabat gobwa. I pa jeme di gobwa kabat ti hash. So you may in charge Shime. Ebe di se heavy roller. Mwe vle ay roll bele di ob highway abadu. Pou nou sa pase plime asui. So se heavy roller vibrate bele ni ob highway abanu. Now, even the Bible says a lazy man should not eat. Fè pas supposé manger. Where Stevenson King, sa chef fè. When he was in the United Workers Party, nou te ka couvert de foy. Because we used to do the work and it appeared as if it's he that was doing it. Il a pa koya breza, ki ha i ka fe? Now Labour lastly, mwen tan nan boukouye news ek it is sel problem in yek Labour Party. In fact, it is by Labour Party a B+. But sel problem in yek Labour Party yo pate suppose ni Richard Frederick ex Stevenson King a cabinet la. Now I want you to understand. They trying to blame everybody. Delane on teacher shime. Yo po imagine yo po be round about like ale okay you. From Gap Cul-de-sac la. You just pliba wellness center. You bo ute timon. Delane ektan sayo kadia beza economic development kita sign contract la. Now it doesn't matter who signed the contract. It matters who's supervising and overseeing the works. So why every contract that was signed under a United Workers Party, the works were being executed in record time and within budget? Madeo Kimun sign contract, say Japanese la, Eggbridge la. Now let me tell you, we raised the money, we negotiated the money, the implementation of the work is that of the Ministry of Infrastructure. And let me explain that to you. Because Labour Party refused to take responsibility for their incompetence. And the chairman said he gives them an eye. They are incompetent. And they refuse to take responsibility for being incompetent. So let me explain something simple to you. For almost a year, that contract was delayed because the Ministry of Infrastructure insisted that there was a young lady working in the ministry and that was who they wanted to be the project engineer. CDB said, Caribbean Development Bank, she does not meet the qualification requirements and the experience required for a project of that nature. So, CDB refused to go ahead with the contract with her as the lead engineer. We went up to Barbados. Myself, the Prime Minister Alan Shasney at the time, Stevenson King, the Minister of Infrastructure, the Attorney General, Stephen Julian, all of us went to meet with CDB. When we sat at the meeting is when we got to know that the project was delayed because the Ministry of Infrastructure, Stevenson King, wanted to push somebody to be the engineer on the project. Jisba bad nuten pou ale pou sav sa. So, we are there and we are embarrassed at the meeting because you, Prime Minister, Attorney General, Minister of Economic Development, Minister of Infrastructure, and we are going there to put pressure on CDB for the project not starting. And CDB is telling us, but is your ministry that responsible? Now here's the best part of it. When we lost the elections and Labour Party won, the same person that CDP did not want to be the engineer on the project, they made her the chief engineer in the ministry. Who surprised that Millennium Highway about yes, kote? Istikage? Istikage by yes, kote? So I want you to know, incompetence at its highest level, a distinguishing mark of incompetence is Stevenson King. Ek Labour Party halasli. Meyo kay ni puchebe. Hotewe John hotewe bube. Ebe chebe. Hold on to him. St. Lucia's roads have never been so bad in the last 40 years in this country. Babonneau pate jamais mauvais kon. Ou pa wek sa yo ka boucher se toi. Yo peta crusher. Yo mix corridor se pi. Ek yo la jen tou. Kon la pli tombe deme se tou a havye fet. Ti woche la bokori. Ou sa yo pre. Yo pe labou. Mud on the side of the road and they fill the potholes. Ek yon jou soleil chebe, ek lot jou la plia sa labou ga dry. That is what we are getting from Stevenson King. He is the same minister of infrastructure. So you see, show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. Birds of a feather flock together. He was not suited to be part of the United Workers' Party. Ek mwen trave ek misye pou komen lan ek mwen savi sa afen. Ek mwen entitled pou di sa afen. Ek Labour Party hawe sa tou. Now, we move on. I listened deliberately to Philip J. Pierre's 9 minutes and maybe 47 seconds of address in the Prime Minister's office with the Saint Lucia behind his back. Now let me tell you something. The office of Prime Minister is not a political position or a party position. We need to understand that. The parliament does not recognize political parties. The parliament recognizes elected members of parliament. Regardless of whether you're independent, you belong to a party or not. And our town hall meetings is to educate our people about the realities of things you would hear and you may not understand. So it is quite inappropriate for the Prime Minister. He is the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, not the Prime Minister of the St. Lucia Labour Party. To go and sit down with your short-sleeve red shirt in the chair of Prime Minister with the flag of the country behind you talking foolishness. That is bringing the office of Prime Minister into disrepute. But what else can you expect from Philip J. Pierre? So, here are some of the things that he said. Here are some of the things. He said they are keeping the promise of putting you first. Now, maybe they're putting you first because you are the first to pay all the taxes that are required to run the affairs of the country. So you buy the Ashepulaha. You can be paying a Porsche. Ek a Porsche. Ek on the second, Tan sayodi, yo kai celebrate emancipation. And how they celebrate in emancipation? 2.5% tax allow. Me celebration. Now body news flabo abay. When nu ek requin this ek me dako ek requin. Nou pas sa blâmer Labour pour l'état pays aye. Selma. We cannot entirely blame the Labour Party. Because c'est nous qui wete la kay nou. Ek nou pa ay vote. Qui fait Labour Party a gouvernement hordia. And some of you flammers who did not go and vote. Y'all did not go and vote because y'all believe the lies of the St. Lucia Labour Party. So by vote by spider. Because who di depuis jour spider là il pas faire d'ici pas faire là. Et bien ça le pas faire après y a ça. Pas elle. Ça qui vote by flambeau, ni right pour elle. Ça qui pas vote by flambeau, pas di rien. C'est ou qui met les balles. Ça on vous try faire, c'est I try tirer yo là. Pas quoi c'est moi yon ka travailler pour tirer yo là. Okay? Because we have to take responsibility. We think it's ministers alone that lose elections. The whole country is at a loss as a result of UWP losing this election. Because we believe the propaganda of the Saint Lucia Labour Party. And we are paying a price. All of us are paying. I can tell you, by myself, I have more integrity than all the 17 of the Labour Party who sits in the parliament. And the 17 of them are the 15 elected ministers, the Attorney General, and the Speaker. 17. And I can challenge them because I know they're on the live watching. Mwen kape yo whole 17 na ada debate. Dis-moi ça mwen fait un gouvernement. Mande mwen n'importe question hot vle. Ek mwen même ka mande hot question. Ek nou kay sav ki moun ka parler la vérité, ek ki moun ka menti. Ek a sou TV nou ka fey. And I'm recommending 2 moderators. Dale Elliott and Rick Wynn. You know, I will tell you something. When Sir John came out back in 1964 to fight the St. Lucia Labour Party, they said more things about Sir John than they are saying about Alan Chasney, Guy Joseph, and the United Workers' Party. But you see, our parents may not have had a secondary school education, but they had common sense. They could not be fooled by the rhetoric of the St. Lucia Labour Party back then. But now we want things fast. Emily, point. 1.5 la havini point. Se moun nagit ka fe 4,000 na ou tax free abweza point. Tout se moun na yo te dwe $5,000 or less. I havini point. Cause hot kakite kou yon passe hot kwene hot. Ki manye non ki pli kou yon passe ho sa kwene. Huh? How can a man who is more foolish than you fool you? You don't know that the government not printing money. And even if they tell you, I will give you this, and I will give you that, and I will do this, and I will do the other. You don't know that's not possible. My people, we need to open our eyes to the reality Labour Party is promising you what they cannot deliver. The difference with Flabo is whatever we promise, we deliver. But ça fâche contre moi si hot vle. Personne pa vin beg moi pour moun ki malade. Alan Chaste offered you $75,000 health coverage. You gave that up for $1,500. Ek apo pa hen $1,500 la. Ou pa hen $75,000 la. Ek tan sa piye ba. Leu 8 years. Ou kay hen health free. Ek un boy go bude. Un boy touve kawaset pou sa hen free healthcare. According to my may lakay pli bon marché passe healthcare. Ou jamais tan nan gouvernement parler bêtises kon ha? And then me could celebrate in that. Ou pa moun pa desan la. Sa moun kay celebrate sa. You know, that is the nonsense that passes for governance under St. Lucia Labour Party. You know, I listened to the whole speech, and the second time when I was writing the notes, because I wanted to quote him properly. Lemetan half. Ek pou metan na Prime Minister Matthew Takon ha. Moi give up. Botan side yako. He said they have brought in economic stability. Does Philip Abukidi ikoneta tilavi about economics? What does he know about economic stability? When you have a stable economy, is when every aspect of your economy is functioning properly. Your unemployment numbers are almost zero and the economy is booming. That is stability. We are in a vulnerable situation. Tourism is what we are depending on. 4 mois, 3 mois la panyo cruise ship harbor, mais au cas we have a stable economy. So what are the vendors doing? With tout sky high, you have a stable economy. When the people in the country cannot eat, they have to choose which meal of the day they are going to skip. Now, if a man doesn't know there's a problem, he can't fix it. In fact, if you go to any counseling session, they will tell you the first thing you have to do is admit you have a problem. As far as Philip JPI is concerned, St. Lucia don't have no problems. Now here's what he said. Here's what he said. Prudent financial management. Now I don't know if it's that prudent he was talking about. But it cannot be the management of the economy. What does Pierre know about? Now when they are mun matche word sabay, ekipa have sa word lamin. Wait, when they can't apologize, Musa. He does not know. Prudent financial management is when you make the best financial decisions with the limited resources that are available to you. You go in and spend $12 million on jazz, and the hospital does not have Panadol, and the police stations don't have toilet paper, and you telling me you are prudent financial manager? I mean, what is that? A prudent financial manager will decide what takes priority, what is at the top of the list, and what is at the bottom of the list, if there's money left to do that. How many private parties they had for Carnival? Who paid for it? And at the same time, you need an injection at the hospital, as you heard Champagne said, to do a biopsy. You have to go and buy it at Tapio. Blood, which is so essential keeping people alive. Not even the bags for the blood bank to go and collect blood from donors was available at the hospital. And you telling me you're doing prudent financial management and you giving that in a speech in the Prime Minister's office? What a shame that this is what we have for our Prime Minister. Now, Sapatuto. Usavi Yolane. Okay, you need a problem and they cannot solve the problem after 1 year. I personally, about 6 months ago, called one of the senior persons in the Ministry of Health because my brother was on dialysis. And 3 times they cut his session short because there is a shortage of water at the hospital. Tout bot kivina haba ka handlo. Tout hotel St. Lucia nidlo. Tout moun nidlo la kayo. L'hopital pandlo. Komusa. Mwen do tout bef la vie for dispawet bo sejou. Ou kwe se dlo mousa kay sabay moun? Si kosa bef ye bef la dispawet ek yo pa ko bef la li. Now, it may sound comical, but that is who we put in charge of the affairs of the country. How can a hospital have so many water shortages? And I'm not lying, my mother passed away a couple weeks ago. I brought her to the hospital. And when I carried her inside and then I was going out, I went to wash my hand in the sink that they have there. No water at the hospital. I had to go and get a bottle of water from my vehicle to wash my hand. And you know, we sit as a people. We stay as a people and we just say we're waiting for 5 years. Mwen vle sam nou kome kay still vive apre 5 years. Si nou ka espere se moun sa pou wete la. We have to take to the streets. We have to let this Labour Party government know that the honeymoon is over. We gave them 2 years. You cannot prove yourself in 2 years, se pa in 22 years you kay sa prove ko. Tan sa Pierre Dio Cafe. Heavy subsidy, and I quote in his words. They have heavily subsidized food items. Would you perhaps subsidize pan first? You cannot subsidize flour. So the price of bread went from 25 cents to 45 cents for a loaf of bread. How can subsidize la? You know, I will tell you some things Philip said, and you will not believe that the man said that. So he said they are heavily subsidizing food items. Massive subsidies on basic food items. I want Philip J. Pierre to tell me what food items he's subsidizing. And hear what he said. They are subsidizing petrol, cooking gas. Gas $17 a gallon. Pierre Kadimunika subsidized gas. A grenade exe plaza $12 $13 a gallon. How can a prime minister with the flag of St. Lucia behind his back tell all of these lies sitting in the chair of the prime minister? And as a people, we accept that. As a people, we accept that. How you subsidize? Now, petrol is gas. How you subsidizing petrol? If you tell me you subsidizing cooking gas, that's something. And let me tell you, under a United Workers' Party we subsidize cooking gas for all the years that the United Workers' Party spent in government. A tank of cooking gas went to almost $50 ekwa dinuka subsidized li. Ko jamari sejou sa. Le flan bote la. Ou te katan jamari souvent. Kote yabweza. Zafei fet. We poukou. So, the Prime Minister is misleading everybody in this country. Because la ou pa fanyen, c'est pour make up a story pour do famay, pour celebrate Kuma. Now, but he did something, let me tell you what he did. He said we have lowered the price of other goods. I want you to tell me, since Labour Party came into office, one thing that is cheaper in this country today. Dis-moi, yon ba qui pli bon marché. So, ki hay lower? He lower by. Every day you go to the supermarket, the prices change. And if you see a shipment just came in and they put it on the shelf, they tell you can't take it now, we have to go and check the price. Because most likely the price have to change. Now, ma Philippe JP also. Philippe JP pa a supermarket. Moi toujours a supermarket. I'm always in the supermarket. Whether I accompany my wife or I go by myself, I know the prices in the supermarket. Moi hadi hot. Cuisine Philippe JP se boga station Jamaria ye. Mande cuisine la kaili. C'est like a dite déjeuner dîner. So il pa mele équipe oui. The man tell you, you can't go and buy bread in a suit, but you can sit at a restaurant eating cheeses in a suit. You would think it's the Free Stooges that in charge of fixing this country, I mean, so he said he has lowered the price. I know you know that's not true. He said he is removing VAT on building materials, medical equipment, sanitary supplies. Maybe the period he was talking about is the full stop. Maybe it's the full stop. But head up. I want you to take a... Now, I dealt at the press conference, I dealt in detail with the building materials. The price of building materials has more than doubled in some instances. So 12.5% is neither here nor there. But I've always said, if St. Lucians can save $1, I am happy about it. But here's the best part of what he said. He said he has removed the VAT on sanitary supplies for babies, women, and seniors. And you can go and listen to the statement. So I want to know whether babies, seniors, and which one I said? And women. Whether you're presenting a card when you buying these things for the, because see spider again, spider pa baby, spider pa woman, spider pa senior. Esi kay pay VAT la. You understand? The Prime Minister, I don't know who writes speeches for him. I don't know who tells him what to say. The man is worse than Trump. All how they give Trump a script, he can't follow the script. I don't know who's writing. But how can you go and say that? So how do you remove the VAT for seniors, babies, and women? And the men, you have to pay the VAT. The youth, you have to pay the VAT. Children, you have to pay the VAT. So si l'on moun voit faire commission, c'est si l'on prie au paye. You understand what I'm saying? So if the Prime Minister doesn't know what he's saying, it's not me that will be able to tell you what the Prime Minister is saying. Say ça, bon, tansa. He said we have waived taxes and penalties and interest of over $500 million owed to the government of St. Lucia. Now I will pause there for a minute. It cannot be madwe gouvernement. Spider padwe gouvernement. In fact, gouvernement kadwe nou. Yo pou pay do laha doa. Laha salary nou yo pou pay do. In fact, it come in due. But if people are owing the government $500 million in taxes, why would you waive all the taxes, interest, and penalties and come back to raise 33 million by putting 2.5% on the whole population? I am calling on the St. Lucia Labour Party government to release the list of persons that they have waived the $500 million for. Because I know it's not you in the room here. I know it's not the average St. Lucian. Because now you do your tax, you can't allow it. Especially si you say flambeau. So, how can the government, in a situation where you want to raise revenue, how can you waive fees? Now, taxes are things that are owed. Some of the instances, I suspect, is VAT that the people collected from the consumers. So, mwevle combien moun qui finance Labour Party qui a sous liste $500 million sa. Ek la ou fin ou ka vin pige tout ti malewe. Ou ka fait nous payer $17 pour un gallon gas. Le gallon gas te sa $14. After you have not reduced the duty on imported goods, you have now added a levy of 2.5% on every one of us who are here. And you go and waive fees of $500 million. What could $500 million do for the health sector in St. Lucia? Now I am telling you, Lania Bobol Abaisa. A government just moun ka dwe $500 million a tax. I could just wipe out just You know when UWP was in office, what we did? All the poor people who could not pay VAT and St. Jude a fee of $14 million, the United Workers' Party went and zeroed that for all the population. That is a government that is for the people. Alan Chasney in the fight to stay alive wipe off all hospital bills up to the tune of $14 million. Ek nou sav by Kimoun because se moun ki pasa afford pou paye l'hôpital la. Ek ou sav se jou sa sou na mo asu kontou. Yo pak about death certificate la until ou paye bill la l'hôpital. Yes. Until you can clear the bill or make an arrangement for a payment plan, ou pasa ite we mo. Leba hote vle, ebe milia bweza. I celebrate Samiku. You know what it is when you have a death in your family? All the time the dead body is there and you have not buried that person, you cannot go back to your life. Because that's a burden. it is something that is weighing down on you. And especially when you do not have the financial capability. And it is costly for burials these days. I am saying to us, this is the wickedness that this Labour Party government is doing to the people. So the $500 million could not help to maintain the hospital for another 2-3 years and allow the people to be able to see their doctors free of charge. Dubai Moon 80 years and over. Moyodi Moon 80 years and over. My mother was 89. Come even Lobitala. Yodi go and pay there. Your baba de ki largely. You just the I pay. Super I pay over our doctor. So, when you see the Labour Party speak, now I know I have to be round enough, but there's so much to say about the wickedness. But there'll be other town hall meetings. I will touch on a few. I want you, the people of St. Lucia, to know. He said further in his speech, 25.9 million for the poor and vulnerable through the social safety nets. Mwen vleman de se malewe aki Saint Lucia, kien de yo ha hen from gouvernement. I want to know whether that is money that the Labour Party put on a side to spend on their people, or whether that is money to be spent on the people of St. Lucia. Now let me tell you something. A budget is just a budget. A budget is just numbers you put there based on projections of revenue collection. So it is at the end of the year you will know whether they collected enough money. Exchange you collect $70 million asu. Excess tax. You have put a lot 33 alay. In fact, for the next year, it's going to be 44 million. Because I keep on saying to Flabos, listen to Labour when they speak. They never speak the truth, plainly. So they said they were going to raise $43 million in this financial year. But in this financial year, which was supposed to start on July the 2nd, that means that the first quarter of the financial year was not reckoned. So, the financial year begins 1st of April. April, May, and June was not counted. So, for the other 9 months, they would have collected the 33 million. So, that is 11 million a quarter. So, 4 quarters will be 44 million. So, après, you have 70 million nasu. You can be able to win a lot 44 million a level. So, and here Philip JP's achievement. Oh, they left the Privy Council and they went to the CCJ. And for the first time, St. Lucia will have a deputy speaker in 6 years. They have a deputy. Who cares if there's a... You know a deputy speaker, what it does? It costs the country an additional 5,000 plus every month. Yo pa do chosa. So when you don't have a deputy speaker, you don't pay that price. So the deputy speaker, who is an elected member, gets his salary as an elected parliamentarian, and he gets another salary on top of that to be the deputy speaker. So yo kai do nu buzwe deputy speaker, me yo pa do come cost no. So I want you, the people. So he said, yes, he said deputy speaker. He said this, he said that. These are the achievements. Now he said, I'll close on that point. He said they have appointed or they have passed legislation for a special prosecutor to go after the previous government for acts of corruption. I tell Philip J. Pierre, I am waiting. I am waiting. But I want him to know, when you appoint a deputy speaker, is not a deputy, a special prosecutor. C'est pas by flambeau tout seul ou appoint un deputy speaker. Because les bapa y a un gouvernement pour tout le temps. Te a hot van banan, a bapuya. Special prosecutor can bugada didasa. The allegations against the commissioner of sexual misconduct. Sa can to investigate. 500 million na whoever kamawadua, that will have to be investigated. So don't worry. So I've said to you, Flabo supporters. Now, I am not among those who say one thing and do something else. As the party has stated, we do not condone any form or act of violence. But you see, Flabo can say they disagree with the statement that was made. But where pièce Labour, you pas supposé ouvrir bouche yo. Ek di anye about sa yo d'accord, ek sa yo pas d'accord. I can say I disagree if a Flabo says something, but not Labour Party. When Cornelia said that they should put grenades on the my seat and on the Alan Chasney's seat in the parliament, who condemned it from the Labour Party? When Kenny said there would be no peace in Viewfort, we will fight you in the streets. We will fight you we'll fight you everywhere. Kimun kite condemn you. So pièce hypocrite Labour, pas vin di moi about Samundi a Flabo. Go and fix up yourself. Le ou anje ko ou kay vin parler ba. Tout temps pas anje ko. Bon moi ça parler ba ko moi. Ek moi ça dit ko moi ma d'accord avec ça fait là. But Labour pas ha di ça. Le Claudius Francis, Speaker of the House, went on his talk show and say it could be a fly he have to kill is with a bazooka. You know what kind of ammunition a bazooka uses? I didn't hear anybody condemn that from the Labour Party. When Joachim and his wife, Delandi Abu. Let Joachim ek madame live in here dans l'église là pour faire des arguments. And if you ask me, I believe he came to kill me. Okay? I know what I saw. I did not see a human being. I saw somebody who looked like he was demon possessed. I had the best view because I was the only one standing on the platform. And he entered through the door. And when he entered, I believe that it was God that blinded him. And he started turning around like a blind man and asking, where is guy? Who is guy? I want guy. What you want guy for? Ou just passe moi lèche me liver dedi. Ou besoin moi sa church là ou ka vini. Même nom là qui te haï di un pasteur à sous plateforme là l'église therefore. Yo me un gouvernement yo me in charge l'église est coupable malédiction tomber en laisse ici. And you know what the Labour Party said? We stand with you. I want Philip J. Pierre to tell the people of St. Lucia, Hodia pa police, me gonjo akimi vela kayu. So, Hodia sabu pa police. Me ou se the leader of the opposition, se ou gon vin hen, gonay hen Claudius, ek den gonay hen police. So, se the police lesa. Me kon in charge police, in charge security pa police ako. Let me tell you something. The Labour Party knows why they're after me, you know. Because I ain't afraid of them. And I can take them on any day, any time. And I want to say to you, I know what I have been through in the politics. Some of us as flabos, we don't have backbone. We turn on our people quickly. We hear things about them. Tout ça yo di about moi, ek yo di about fresh start, ek yo halabudelane, moi vle mutwe your contract, your project ki fet about moi that was overpriced. I want them to show one. Stephenson King talking about St. Jude. He sent his engineers and did the estimate. Tell them release the estimate. Why up to now they can't tell us how much money they paid Reno for cleaning and fencing St. Jude? You had 10 million, you had 5 million. Which one? I know it went in for 10 because when the engineers reviewed it, they said they could not justify the 10 million. So, Labour Party is on a campaign to undermine Flabo. They tried it and it worked the last election. I am calling on Flabos. You have to give your party the benefit of the doubt. You see, if we do wrong, hold us accountable. But don't hold us accountable for the propaganda of Labour. Tout ça yo te di about Richard la. Ko Richard abwes la. Ko ye. So abwes la se li ki Saint Richard. He says Saint Richard. But yo te di pli ba about Richard passe yo di about me. So Labour Party is trying to beat people into submission. But my hadi Labour say yo mod yo pa isa mute. That's a mountain they cannot climb. So I challenge you Flabos. As the campaign heats up, because we are not going to let Labour get away with what they are doing. We are going to step up the pressure. We are going to take to the streets. We are going to go by the Parliament building. We are going to go by the Prime Minister's office. We are going to go by the Police Commissioner's office. We will do what we have to do. We will do it in a law-abiding way. I'm not one of those who promote violence. But if Labour wants to go that way, usania no masa talk show kadi. Moun post as sur Facebook. Ou si pose bat yo. Pou jisata yo pa habre glow soup. And endorsed by a minister. And the youth of the St. Lucia Labour Party. So much without shame. Would come and write a statement as if you didn't hear these things. For a man who's retired and who made a hypothetical statement. He said, if Yondi Bugla Siudi Suemahen Lahamwe Bodeme Umo. He said, PRO, a ministry Stephenson King. Hot pa condemn sa. The Labour Party Youth Organization. You didn't condemn that. Today, you want to condemn other people. Let Flabo condemn Flabos because we have the right to do so. Because we hold ourselves to a different standard. And I want to say something to you all Flabos. To all of us Flabos. Don't ask us to be like the Labour Party. Flabo will never be Labour. We hold a different standard. We hold a different principle. So lewe back a fait mal porte yo. Pas di Labour fait ça. Qui mania nous pas fait. We hold ourselves to a different level. We are the government of choice. We are the government of development. We are the government for St. Lucia. And you must do the right thing. You must take to the campaign trail your neighbor, your friend, your enemies, whoever you meet. We need to start rallying everybody so that by the time Philip J. Pierre calls the election, we are ready to take the victory as the United Workers' Party. I thank you and may God bless all of you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Before we end, I have one more request to make of the Prime Minister. Bon, mwen pa ka mande pou faya koyan ko. Monsieur Panigopon. I am asking, and I'm asking that that be done on behalf of the country of St. Lucia, for our pride, for our dignity, for the image of our country and our people. I'm asking that the Prime Minister be forced to undergo a mental status test. Parce que nous passons pour un quartier embarrassement ça encore. Okay. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for coming out this evening, for being such a good audience, for continuing to support the United Workers' Party, for continuing to stand for your country. I want to thank all those who were watching us live in the diaspora and everywhere around St. Lucia. We want to thank you, and we ask that you continue to support the United Workers' Party and you continue to follow the program of the United Workers' Party. And when we call on you, that you take that stand to free St. Lucia of this incompetent, inept government led by Philip J. Pierre. Before we leave, let us just sing. Let us join in singing Carry a Candle. We have to keep the light burning. That is the way of the United Workers' Party. Thank you and good night to all of you.
There is a